بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. So we were discussing the proofs why we say Taraweeh namaz is 20 rakats. So we told before that yeah, that there is the riwayat of Hazrat Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha that speaks about 8 rakats. Thus all the A'immah, Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim, Imam Abu Dawud, Imam Tirmidhi, they've recorded this 8 rakat riwayat in the chapter of Tahajjud. You know, Qiyamul Layl. So that means even the A'im of Hadith, they understood this like the Fuqaha understood it. They have understood it that it refers to the Qiyamul Layl. It refers to the Tahajjud namaz. That the Nabi Sallallahu used to pray, used to read 8 rakats tahajjud namaz, not 8 rakats tarawih namaz. سأل عائشة وسأل عائشة كيف كانت صلاة رسول في رمضان فقال ما كان رسول يزيد في رمضان ولا في غيره في 11 ركعة يصلي 4 فلا تسأل عن حسنهن وطولهن ثم يصلي 3 فيه. That when سئل عائشة, as Aisha was asked كيف كانت صلاة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في رمضان. How was the صلاة of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم في رمضان؟ فقال ما كان رسول يزيد في رمضان. He's not increased in Ramadan ولا في غيره and nothing besides Ramadan. على 11 ركعة more than 11 ركعات. يصلي 4 يشرين fours. فلا تسأل عن حسننا وطول. Do not ask about his beauty and his length that he shows. It means so nice, beautiful, etc. And this year comes in Bukhari Sharif, Bambu Qiyamin Nabi Billayli fi Ramadana. In Muslim Sharif it is Babu Salati Layli wa Adari Rakati Nabi fi Layli wa Anna al-Witr Rakatun. Right? It comes in Abu Dawud Sharif, Babun fi Salati Layli. In Tirmidhi Sharif, Babu Ma Ja'a fi Wasfi Salati Nabi Billayli. Same riwayat about 11 all. So interesting thing that all these imams here, they mention this, oh, this 8 rakats and 3 rakats, which makes 11 rakats. We call 11 rakats with the witr. All of them, they only mention this in the chapter of Tahajjud Salatul Layl. They never write. They never mention the same hadith in the chapter of what? Of Qiyam Ramadan. Then there's another hadith also عن ابن عباس قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصلي من الليل 8 ركعات ويوتر بثلاث. The regular authority of Ibn Abbas that Nabi Sallallahu used to pray at night 12 rakats and he used to make 3 witr. This is also a proof for the Hanafis to show that witr is 3 rakats, not 1, etc. This is in Tabrani Kabir and it's narrated by Yahya ibn Wasab or Ibn Abbas, right? So from this hadith also, you learn that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to recite 8 rakats Tahajjud namaz. Now this is where our problem comes in. The same riwayat speaks about 8 and 3, which even Imam Bukhari and the other Imam of hadith of the Usul Sitta, they recorded in Qiyamul Layl, but Imam Bukhari recorded the same hadith also in the chapter of Tarawih namaz. So, so all the Imam never recorded in Tarawih namaz, but only he's the one. So in the same hadith in Qiyamul Layl, and he recorded the same hadith in the Bab of Tarawih. So you got the same hadith in both. So So you got this hadith which is of similar nature. سئل عائشة كيف كان صلاة الرسول في رمضان وقال ما كان يزيد في رمضان ولا في غيره على 11 ركعة يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن حسن وطولهن ثم يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن طولهن وحسنهن ثم يصلي ثلاثا. So the same hadith which all the other Imam is understood to be Qiyamul Layl, Imam Bukhari put it into this chapter of Tahajjud, put in the chapter of Taraweeh Namaz as well. And the chapter actually is just Babu Fadli man Qama Ramadana. So he mentioned the 8 rakat in that also. So that was his understanding that the same hadith is applied to Tahajjud, is applied to Ramadan. When we say all the other imams, they didn't do that. Yeah. Now, if you go back to that hadith, we says here, it says, look again here. يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن حسنهن وطولهن. He used to read 4 rakats and do not ask about their beauty and do not ask about the length. It was nice long rakats, beautiful rakats, etc. Right? That is what he's saying. That is what he is saying. So one answer we give to this, we say, look here, we know that Tarawih was 2 rakats, 2 rakats. And here the speech about 4 rakats, 4 rakats. That shows you this was the Tahajjud namaz. That's why that hadith is about Tarawih. Sorry, we know Tahajjud namaz is he read 4 rakats and Tarawih now is 2 rakats, 2 rakats. So the fact that hadith is about 4 rakats shows that it is about Tahajjud, not about Tarawih, right? Then Sunan al-Bayhaqi. So the riwayat with Imam Bukhari mentioned of 11 rakats in Tahajjud, and then he got this different riwayat, he mentioned 11 rakats also in Tarawih. It was 2 different riwayats, slightly different because remember, see, I'll say it again for you. The riwayat of Tahajjud was this here. سئل عائشة كيف كان صلاة رسول الله في رمضان فقد ما كان رسول الله يزيد في رمضان ولا في غيره على 11 ركعة يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن حسنهن وطولهن ثم يصلي ثلاثا, right? And here it goes like this, yeah. Um, this, this one is a bit longer actually, the one that you put. ما كان يزيد في رمضان ولا في غيره على 11 ركعة يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن حسننا وطولنا ثم يصلي أربعا فلا تسأل عن حسن وطولنا ثم يصلي ثلاثا. Yeah, this hadith means both 4. This is 4, it says 4 and 4. You understand what I'm saying? So the two hadith speaks about the same thing, but it's slightly different. They speaks about 4, it's about 4, 4, right? So this is Imam Bayhaqi, Sunan al-Bayhaqi. Is also one of the second tier hadith books, not like the usul, like the Sayyid, but it also has many riwayats and also many fiqh riwayat. So he says this is how we'll make intibaq. That the first riwayat there that Imam Bukhari Sharif mentioned about that 8 rakat, right? That is referred to the Hajj Namaz. And then there's 20 rakat riwayats. All the riwayats speak about 20 rakats. that refer to the Tarawih namaz. So wherever we come across a riwayah that speaks about 8 rakats, we say that refers to the what? Qiyamul Layl. And the 20 rakats speaks about Tahajjud. That's what Imam Bayhaqi says. So what he says that initially maybe in the beginning of Ramadan ويمكن الجمع بين روايتين فإنهم كانوا يقومون بأحد عشر ركعة ثم كانوا يقومون ب20 ويوتر ب3. Initially they used to read before the Tarawih namaz started, they used to make 8 rakats tahajjud namaz. And then this was before the institutionalization of the Tarawih namaz. But once Tarawih namaz came, it was a separate obligation. So initially in the beginning stages of Islam, where the Tarawih wasn't there, then there should be just the 8 rakats tahajjud, right, in Ramadan. But later on, you got the 20 rakats. So that riwayah that speaks about that 8 rakats referred to in Tarawih wasn't initiated as yet, or it wasn't institutionalized. So he's saying, ويمكن الجمع بين الروايتين فإنهم كانوا يقومون ب11 ركعة ثم كانوا يقومون ب20 ويوتر ب3, right? So that is the jama between, if we say it refers to the same thing, right? So what we're saying is, in the initial stage of, besides the fasting, in the initial stage of Islam, you just had the 8 rakats of tahajjud. And then afterwards, the 20 rakats of Tarawih came. Are you with me? So there we got our proof for the 20 rakats. I gave you all the riwayahs that speaks about the 20 rakats. So that's the adad of the Tarawih. Now, what's our proof for it being Jamaat? إن عمر بن الخطاب أمر الرجل يصلي بهن 20 ركعة. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu ta'ala, he instructed. Okay, one proof is this here that when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam read it for the first night, the second night, the third night, and they followed him in Jamaat, he did not stop them. Although the fourth night, he never pitched up and he said, I know you people were here. Don't think I forgot about you. I know I purposely never come out so that the namaz will become faraz. So that's a proof that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam read it. And also, this shows you also that Nabi was not against the reading of the 20 rakats in Jamaat. If he was against, you say, no, that why are you reading 20 rakats and why are you reading in Jamaat? He never objected to that. What was his reasoning? My fear is if we read it every day, then it will become faraz, because if Nabi does something every day without leaving it out at all, then we say faraz. He lets it out really, then it's sunnat mu'akkada. And if he lets it out regularly, done it and never do it, then it's sunnat mu'akkada. So, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave the reason so that I never pitch up because I had not to become faraz. So that was a tacit endorsement of the 20 rakats in Jamaat. Are you with me? Right. If you look at the reasoning, the reason was not against the namaz. It was not against the Jamaat, right? So as Umar radiallahu anhu understood that yes, the 20 rakats in Jamaat is good. And he understood that look, the Nabi never do it because he feared it may become compulsory. But now that the Nabi is not here and Shariat has already been legislated, it can't become compulsory now because our actions don't make something compulsory. So we can do it. So that's why in Umar ibn al-Khattab, Amar Rajul Yusalli bihim 20 rakatan. Right? This is the riwayat of Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba. Remember this, Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba and Musannaf ibn Abdul Razak. Many of the Hanafi dalail are found. That's why even if you look at the Sharaya of the Sharaya, this Asmarul Hidayah, that the author I told you is a good repositories to find the hadith of the Hanafi Madhab. The author here went through all the hadith books and all the Masaili tried to put the hadith in. You see a lot of, if you read this here, unfortunately, you don't know Urdu, but you read here, you see many of the dalail from the Hanafi Madhab come from Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba and Musannaf ibn Abdul Razak. Inshallah, when you finish your alim course and you do takhasus bil hadith, we'll introduce you to these books to show you all the dalail of the Hanafi Madhab. So in the Umar ibn Khattab, Amara Rajul Yusalli bihim 20 rakatan. This is in Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, the Babis, Kam Yusalla fi Ramadana min rakatin. And I tell you, Musannaf ibn Abdul Razak also, باب قيام رمضان إن عليا أمر رجل يصلي بهم 20 ركعة. As Ali commanded the Jamaat, and right, and عليا أمر commanded a person that يصلي بهم 20, must read 20 rakats, right? And it also comes in the chapter كم يصلى في رمضان. Then also in Sunan al-Bayhaqi, there is also one of the hadith, the second tier hadith books that have many dalais, is written there in the Babu ma ruya fi adar qatil qiyami fi shahri Ramadana. The chapter what is narrated with regards to the number of rakats. Babu ma ruya fi adar qatil qiyam fi shahri Ramadana. They also, so from both these two riwayats you learn that Hazrat Umar and Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, they commanded the Imam to read 20 rakats. So as I was telling you, you know when something is not something that will rationally deduced like a number, they wouldn't take it out of their pocket. Obviously, there's some basis, even if they don't say we heard of Rasul's reading like this or we saw him, but it stands to reason the fact that they are instituting it or legislating it means that they did hear it from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Are you with me? You know, we done this meaning or you call something as hukman marfu. You don't openly attribute it to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but still you'll understand that it comes from Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam because it is not something which can you can rationally deduce it yourself, right? Then I was telling you the Tarawih namaz will be there in 2 rakats. It's better, although if you read 4 rakats, etc., it will be, but 2 rakats is better. عن ابن عمر أنه صلى خلف أبي هريرة وكان يصلي ركعتين ثم يسلم ثم يقوم فيوتر بركعتين. This is also Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba. He said he should read 2 rakats, and then he stood up and then he read the witr. So this information, I hope this is clear. It was nice, clear. You understood everything there. That was from this Kitab Akhbarul Hidayah. I gave you explanation. We say that yes, there are riwayats that speak about 8 rakat, and even Imam Bukhari Sharif brought the 8 rakat riwayat in Qiyam Ramadan. So we say all the 8 rakats. If we look at all the other A'immah, the Saysita, they brought the 8 rakats only in the chapter of Qiyamul Layl. Yes, Imam Bukhari brought also a riwayat for Qiyam Ramadan of 8 rakats. So we could give several explanations. We can say, look here, the other A'immah never bring the 8 rakat riwayat here. They all understood that 8 rakats is Ramadan. But if we say that yes, it is applies to Ramadan, that just 8 rakats, and we simple, we say, look here, this was in the initial stage of Islam when there was no Tarawih namaz, so the only prayer in Ramadan, besides the normal, was the regular 8 rakats of Tahajjud, right? And then afterwards, then the 20 rakats came when the Nabi started reading with them, right? So that is, if we say Imam Bukhari's observation is correct, which goes against the other Imam, we say it is correct, but it has a particular mahal, and it was in the initial stages of Islam, right? Okay, read it Ibarah then, inshallah, then we can at least do something from the Kitab.
يستحب أن يجتمع الناس في شهر رمضان بعد العشاء فيصلي بهم الإمام ترويحا بين كل تسبيحتين دار ترويحا.
Right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. يستحب أن يجتمع الناس في شهر رمضان بعد العشاء فيصلي بهم إمامهم 5 ترويحات. It is preferred that the people gather in the month of Ramadan after Isha, then then the Imam prays for them 5 tarwihas. There was 5 sets of 4. Okay, first thing is this here. Remember, this refers to the men. In the initial stage of Islam, it was good, it was fine for the woman. It was not good, but it was permissible for the woman to go out and read with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But then the masla changed because it was specific to the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because obviously what greater honor than reading the Mahaz behind Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I mean, there was no compromise. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not amongst us anymore. So then the other hadith about reading in a confined space where people don't see you. So for women, it is better to read at home, right? So فيصلي بهم إمامهم, the Imam will read خمس ترويحات. A tarwiha referred to a set of four. Two rakats, salam, small break, two rakats, that's a tarwiha. So 5 times 4 equal to 20, right? So كل ترويحة بتسليمة. So every so يبقى خمس تراويح, so you have 5 تراويح means 5 of the four. كل ترويحة بتسليمة, every ترويح will have a salam. ويجلس بين كل ترويحتين مقدار ترويحة, and then also you will sit between the two tarawih. In other words, you will sit after every 4 rakats, right? How long? مقدار tarawih, in the amount of another 4 rakats. Remember I was telling you, that's why the dua that we read, Subuhun Qudusun, although it is not sabit from the hadith, Allama Shami mentions it in the book, in the fatwa book of the Hanafis. But basically, if you look at it here, there's nothing fixed to read. So Mullah Ashraf Ali Talmi says that between the 4 rakats, when you finish your 2 rakats, you set up immediately, you start the next 2 rakats. You say, I recite Durud Sharif, right? So you Midaru Tarwih Thumma Yutiru Bihim, then you make witr namaz. It is mentioned that the people of Makkah, they used to make a tawaf in between every 4 rakats. And the people of Medina saw this, hey, they're making a tawaf, we're getting left out. So they used to make another 4 rakats. So it means between every 4 rakats, you got another 4 rakats, right? So ذكر لفظ الاستحباب والأصح أنه سنة. So yeah, he's explaining outside, but I saying here he has mentioned yustahabbu. Now normally mustahab is the lightest form of compulsion. If you do it, fine. If you leave it out, no problem. So he's saying ذكر لفظ الاستحباب, that this sunnat والأصح أنه سنة لا شيء sunnat. So while we are there, this let me explain you the hukum of the Tarawih, which I explained you before. That it is sunnate mu'akkada for every person, for every male and female to read the Tarawih namaz, right? Just to read the Tarawih namaz. And what is the law sunnate mu'akkada? Sunnate mu'akkada is if you leave it out continuously without excuse, you become sinful, right? Are you with me? So it is sunnate mu'akkada for both male and both female to read it. Both male and both female, if they leave it out continuously without any valid excuse, they become sinful. That is just to, but then to read it in Jamaat, it is sunnate mu'akkad al-kifaya. That means if some people of the community read it in Jamaat and the rest don't read it in Jamaat, they are excused. So it is not sunnate mu'akkada for every single person to go to the masjid. If some people do it, then the whole town is exonerated and absolved from this commitment, right? But as I said, this means you won't tell people, they will become lazy. If you tell them to read by the house, they won't even read by the house. So rather let them go to the masjid, right? Then he says, كذا روى الحسن عن أبي حنيفة. Remember, this is interesting now. You know, we spoke to you about Zahir Riwayat. Zahir Riwayat refer to the opinion of Imam Hanifa, Imam Abu Yusuf, and Muhammad that is narrated by Imam Yusuf, Imam Muhammad in the 6 books that are called the Zahiri, right? It's called the Usul. Then the other students, where they captured the opinions of Imam Hanifa, they captured Imam of Yusuf, Imam Muhammad. Their books are called the Nawadir. What's called, inshallah, if you do the iftar calls, you'll see the Nawadir. It's also called the Haruniyat, the Kaysaniyat. Harun's student's name was Harun. So, see, so Imam Hassan ibn Ziyad, which is like a second tier student, وكذا روى الحسن عن أبي حنيفة. And also like that, Imam Hassan ibn Ziyad, he narrated from Abu Hanifa that is sunnate mu'akkada. And why he says sunnate mu'akkada? لأنه واظب عليه الخلفاء الراشدون. Remember I told you earlier, sunnate mu'akkada is that thing which Nabi Sallallahu done continuously without leaving it out, except rarely. So here, He's saying the Khulafa al-Rashidin, they made mu'adhabat. And I tell you, when the Khulafa al-Rashidin, they were if you study the muftis, who are the muftis of the ummah, you see the names of the Khulafa on top of the list. They were the greatest muftis of the ummah. They were besides them, is also, there were other muftis, Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas, but they were the greatest muftis. So I told you, if they do something continuously, and they insisted and they emphasize it, then there must be some basis from it. It is not something that they pull out of their pockets. They saw Nabi Sallam's desire to read it, and they understood that the only reason Nabi Sallam never read it was because he feared it to become compulsory. So that's why I tell you, we the Ahlul Sunnah Jama'ah, alaykum bi sunnati, right? لأن واظب على الخلفاء الراشدين والنبي عليه السلام بين, right, والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and Nabi Sallam also wanted to do it. He wanted to do it, but بين العذر في تركه المواظبة. He gave a clear reason why he left out the muwaظبة. And what was that? وهو خشية أن تكتب علينا, was his fear that it will be fixed upon us, it will be fixed and legislated upon us. So Nabi Sallam's desire was there, must be read. But the only reason he stopped, he said, خشيت أن تكتب عليك, I fear to become compulsory. So out of his mercy, imagine it became compulsory. That means a person who is sick, a person who never read his, his daily salah. It means you also have to make qadha of Tarawih namaz. If you pass away, you have to also pay your fidya of Tarawih namaz. So out of mercy, Nabi Sallam never do it, so that we know if we done continually, we would understand it to be compulsory. The time is up, we'll stop there, we will continue. But this text that we done here also, there's going to be a detailed explanation of this text tomorrow, inshallah. Although here we explained to you some of the proofs why we say this 20 rakat, but there are books, complete books written with all the different proofs. You got just a brief introduction to stop there. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.